podcast, we dive into the stories of individuals who work behind the scenes in film, music, entertainment, and fashion. Tune in weekly as we split half a dozen and dig deeper into their stories. Have a seat at the coffee table at Donuts with Dough. Welcome. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We are back. Yes, it's been a minute. It's been a minute since I was back on the platform and giving y'all more information, more guests that you should know about, especially in the city of Nashville. But it feels good, even on this cold Saturday morning in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. But we back. We back with a special guest. I always have these guests that do multiple things. I guess that's just the theme of the Donuts with Dough, because just like a box of donuts, you never know what you're gonna get. Whether it's we sprinkle in a little bit of this, we put some cinnamon right here, we put some glaze right over here. We just never know what you're gonna get in human beings, I guess.
It's like a black Forrest Gump.
yeah, man. But today's guest, we got Justin Causey. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to Donuts with Dough, man. This guy, Justin Causey, has been out here having motion all year. Whether it's working behind the scenes in production, whether it's artist management, putting brown everywhere in the city, from baseball events to football events. We talking about major events like the Titans and the Nashville Sounds. So this is somebody you definitely need to get in tune with. I mean, he's out here designing sneakers, Air Max 95s, them cloud joints. I know you've seen them joints.
I'm honored, man.
You're out here working with Cashville, etc.
Shout out my boy Los.
Nashville Black Market, and hey, we just out here. Justin, welcome, man.
What's good, man? How you doing?
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored out here.
Hey, man, same. First and foremost, thank you for having me. We've been trying to get this to, happen for a minute. And then, I promised you, I said, no, we'll sit down. We'll knock it out before the year, even ends. So, set it up.
Man, I appreciate you being a man of your word, man. And I feel like we end in it's 2022 with a great guest, man, and someone that people should really know about. Young man is really, like I said, just been out here putting on for his team.
Hey, man, I like seeing my friends shine. That's my favorite thing, honestly. I just like seeing my friends succeed in their passions, and I like just being there and be like, nah, you can do this. Like we can do this. Whatever you got an idea for, we can knock it out. And then when it comes to fruition, it's just one of those like, okay, what else can we do? So I'm just an overall fan of my friends.
Got you.
Yeah.
So you originally from
Columbus, Ohio. Yeah.
Midwest.
Yeah, man. Up north.
The CO.
You feel me?
Home of Bow Wow.
Yeah. Shout out Bow Wow. I fuck with Bow Wow. I fuck with Lil Bow Wow.
Bow Wow.
Shy Moss, my boy. I fuck with Lil Bow Wow. That first album, played that relentlessly.
Oh yeah.
You feel me?
People ain't gonna, they don't want to give Bow Wow his flowers for real, but I mean, Bow Wow was everywhere when he first came out.
Come on now. Give Bow Wow his credit. My nigga was legit child star albums, platinum albums. You feel me? And then went from that to being a child actor and killed that. And then
Mike,
bounce, and make cultural movies.
Right.
I'm gonna pull a Ray J and I'm gonna be like, hey, that man is a cultural icon.
Hey, I can't.
There's eras,
it's
like Little Bow Wow, Phenom. Bow Wow did his thing. Shy Moss. Hey, I went to the Scream tour. I went with my cousins. You feel me? At the fairgrounds. That's Lil Bow Wow was real. My brother played him in football. It was one of those things.
Got you, man. Now that's a shock because it feels like he's been out. He probably had been out the city for a while, but to say that your brother played football against him is like he actually had somewhat of a
little
normal
youth league,
a normal life. You know what I'm saying?
Little youth league like Reynoldsburg.
Got
Yeah.
you.
But it was no Bow Wow. I messed with Bow Wow. My very first concert that my mom took me to was Saint Lunatics and the Cash Money.
Oh wow.
Yes. And like it was ridiculous. It was like a summer jam concert. And the Saint Lunatics had the St. Louis Arch on stage. And then Cash Money had ATVs with a fat Cash Money chain hanging from the set. And I was just standing up on a chair with my mom, and I was just like, "Yo," I was like, "This is
So
crazy."
so in that moment, will you say that it's probably where you got your spark or love for music or production?
Nah,
Nah.
that was just one of my. That was just like one of the very first prominent concerts that I remember going to. But like that probably music's always been my spark because I come from a very musical family. Like my grandmother was in the church. My grandmother was my Sunday school teacher and my choir director and my grandmother. So it was just like we were always at Mount Olivet Baptist Church all the time on Sunday. And so I was that little kid that like played drums and sung in the choir, and was in Sunday school and like helping pass everybody, all the stuff out. So and my uncle was a drummer and my cousin was a drummer, and my dad's side related to Tina Turner. So
Okay.
it's like,
Nutbush,
like
Tennessee.
yeah, so it's like there's like very musical qualities in our family and that have just always seeped through. And for me, it was just kind of like it naturally happened because I in high school I played basketball, I ran track, and then I quit football and was in the marching band and played drums for my high school drum line. And then that led me to TSU to play for uh the aristocratic bands because I was like, I want to play for HBCU drumline. And then I just started surrounding myself by music. But like the little trinkles that I realize now is like I used to throw parties in high school with my friends
Hmm.
because like I went to a predominantly white high school, like a predominantly white suburban high school where all the kids wore like Abercrombie and like Hollister and all that. And they had bar mitzvahs, and they'd be like, hey, can you guys DJ our parties, And then we were like, oh, well, hell yeah. So we was DJing in like, fat ass cribs and just like giving them different types of music. And then we were like, we can do this, So we would like go ahead, promote flyers and promote it throughout the week at school. And we rent out this little Lions Club that was down the street for like $100 on a Saturday night. And it would be like, all right, cool. No, Friday, we would do it Saturday because the football games would be Friday. So then
Right.
the Saturday, everybody would come there after. And so we would just promote it all week at school. And then I had two friends that are twins, Travis and Trent. One would play like house music and like electronic and rave music, and then the other one would just play like hip hop cuts, and like I would do hospitality and host and like do the bar downstairs and like get people in the door, and like that was just fun stuff for us, like we would just put ideas together. And then in college, that just kind of happened because I was always around musically inclined people, and like I did a blog and was hosting open mics and spoken words because when I came to Nashville, it was like how to get an understanding of where I live somewhere new was like getting out into the community and understanding the community. Because I learned that in high school is like you can't really have an appreciation for where you live until you learn the history of it. So I was like, okay, if I can get out from TSU's campus and like really know what goes on around Nashville and like on the city, then I can really have a, feeling of this place and call it a home. And like that's how I just started meeting, Los and Mike Carney and Jamel Gooch and like Delisha and just everybody here that was doing something like Thaxton Waters, just Alicia Bud, like all these people here that just lived in Nashville in the city and just like building genuine relationships with them. And then like the music thing took over when I put together a festival with my homie Mike, Freedom Fest at Hadley Park. And we were just, it was kind of like Bonnaroo for Nashville. Like we wanted it to be artists inspired, people to come out and, hang out, paint, vendors, then performers from local artists. And his brother was on there. And then it just turned into like, hey, manage me. And then 7 years later, other artists came, and then things just started building up. And then we're here now, and we have a show later today, which is crazy. This is crazy, but it's really just like a testament to, you know, progression, keep growing, like having faith in something and not understanding where it will take you, but just having a real like belief that, okay, this is possible. We can do it. You just have to like set out for it.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
And we gonna rewind.
I know it was a lot, dude, and I felt it in the middle. I was like, "Damn, I'm rambling," but it's so much when somebody asks me like, "How did this happen?" and it's like a, bleh,
it's like you gotta get it out.
Yeah, because I honestly be like, I don't know how this happened. It was just one movement, and it just was like all of this.
You mentioned drums. Like, was that your like first instrument when you growing up, or was it any other thing?
And it was drums.
When did you start playing?
Man, my mom's always told me like you weren't bad, you were just busy, so you were just always doing something. And I just was always banging on stuff. My older cousin, who's like a year older than me, our birthdays are a couple days apart. We're the same way. He's just a drummer. His dad is a drummer. He marched around. He flew around in a military band playing for troops. And so like we just all kind of picked it up. And my dad bought me a drum set for my birthday one year. And then I started playing on that and would practice on that. And then I was in, concert band and all that shit in middle school. And then it went to percussion, and it just kind of, the path of a drummer. Yeah.
So you grew up in a musical household. Was there any siblings? Are you the only child? Or
so I'm the only child with my mom. I got a younger sister.
Okay.
G baby Gabrielle. It's my one. That's my one right there, my rock. And then I got cousins that were raised like my brothers and sisters. Paige and Thomas. And so like those are my older. They held me down, looked over me. Mm-hmm.
So were you the only? Well, you're the only one that really picked up music and really stayed with it, or do you have?
Yeah, because it's funny, dude. Because like when we were younger, living in Ohio, this is how crazy like our family was set up. So it was like my grandmother's house, and then right next door was my Aunt Betty's house, and that's where Thomas and Paige were at. And like down the alleyway was my pawpaw's house. So it was like just a street of all of us, and so we would all just be getting picked up after summer camp or whatever, and we would be at our grandmother's house. Then we hop the fence and be at my Aunt Betty's house, and then we go down the alleyway to Pawpaw's house. So it was just like boom, 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 boom. And my older brother Thomas, he was like the artist. Like he played baseball and he liked to draw. And like I remember he got the computer and he was like, writing, his little raps and recording on the computer, like legit. And me and my cousin Michaela made a first little rap song. And like I heard it and I was just like, I'll never do this in my life ever, but like that was the first experience of like music. And then like I remember that very vividly because it was like he literally sat there and we sat in the living room and like we're writing raps to this little beat on a computer. And he was so hype and we were just so hype and we were just performing it. And it was just like, after I heard my voice back, I was like, no, I'll never do this. And then those are just like little trinkets, of it. But I was the musical one I was musical in the house. My grandmother, like she had a piano in the house and like she would play it sometimes. And my pawpaw, like he liked jazz. My mom, she always had music playing. I remember riding around in the car with my uncle June, and like he'd always have like the jazz station playing in all his cars. So it would just be like instrumental jazz everywhere we drove. And that's why like I really genuinely like playing 88.1. If I don't want to listen to anything on my phone, I'll just have 88.1 playing and I'll drive around and just have that like soundtrack my drive because I'm used to that,
Got you.
Yes.
Can you remember what your first CD? Yeah, I'll say CD that you bought.
Man, because I've had so many CDs.
let me say the first CD you bought with your own money.
I
Like
know
you went to the store, like you went to
it
I don't
might
know
have
CD
been,
warehouse or a tower. Yeah, for those who don't know, the people that uh, only get their music on the internet,
bruh,
like CD warehouse and tower and let me think,
Sam's Play,
Sam's Play, Sam Goody.
Goody,
Yeah, these were
Best
actual
Buy,
record stores
yeah,
that you can go and you can buy physical copies of albums.
your local record
Yeah,
shop.
it wasn't just in your hand. You had
Yeah.
to actually do something and go get
Bro, there
your
was this
favorite
spot.
artist.
Okay, so my first, I remember the first CD like my mom gave me, and then I think the first that prompted me to buy my first CD my mom gave me was Snoop Dogg's Doggy Style, but it was edited. And I think,
Wow.
yeah, like she gave me the Snoop Dogg Doggy Style CD, and it was edited, and then I was just like, okay, I'm finna go buy that version. But like, I promptly like I definitely remember going and buying CDs on drop. Like me and my mom went and bought um Michael Jackson's Invincible album,
Okay.
and like we went to Best Buy, bought that, and put it in the car and sat there and listened to it and like in the parking lot.
That's the one with butterflies on
Yes,
it. Yeah.
yes, and
Okay.
it's one of my favorite songs ever.
Yeah.
And then I remember buying a Black album.
Okay.
I remember buying.
I still got the CD in
Dude,
in the rack.
I used to have a crazy booklet of CDs and I lost it in a car accident. And like,
Ah,
but now I just have a whole bunch of burnt CDs still.
mm,
But yeah, I think my first CD that I bought was Doggy Style. Yeah, by
wow.
Snoop, like the actual version.
Viewers, could y'all imagine an edited version of Doggy Style?
Yeah, yeah, um,
It's no good. It
yeah.
can't be any good. I mean, like probably every other word. Like, yeah, like I know my my young self shouldn't have been listening to Doggy Style, and yeah,
Yeah.
I was probably what Doggy Style came out in 93, 94, maybe. So I was like 12.
Yeah,
I
and see,
still,
I was, and see,
I
what's
still
crazy
shouldn't
is,
have been listening to
what's
that.
crazy is I was born in '91, and so that was just like my introduction, because like my mom was like, yeah, we're from Ohio, but my mom like really loved West Coast music, and
But
then
the thing about,
yeah,
I don't mean to cut you off. The
no,
thing about Ohio is
come on,
like because I went to school near Cincinnati.
mm-hmm,
Um, it's like it has this weird pockets like of people that's influenced by like the West Coast. Like
mm-hmm,
you might be on one side of town and everybody is like in flannels and I'm talking about like how West Coast used to be like in the 90s.
mm-hmm,
Then you might go to one pocket of Ohio, it'd be like it looked like you down south somewhere.
yeah,
And then you'll go to somewhere like Cleveland and it's cats and Tim's look like they from
New York,
yeah. So
mm-hmm,
it's like, man, Ohio is like one of those real melting pots
yeah,
of a
dude.
state.
Up north is wild. That's how I've learned how to just kind of like blend very easily, with both sides. Like I know how to work because it's just Ohio had so many people in there, and then I was just like, "Yo, this is too." Like, it was also not necessarily too big for me. Well, I wanted to get out because I knew there was more, but it was like Ohio State was too big, and like that encompassed all of Columbus, and most of my graduating class went to Ohio State, and I
Mm.
was like, "Oh yeah," I think only a handful of us went out of state, and I was like, "Yeah, I got to go." Somewhere else, and my mom was very prominent on like HBCU. She was like, "No, you're going to a HBCU," you know.
It's a couple of HBCUs in Ohio, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got uh
There's some around it. I know because like my uncle went to Central,
okay.
and so and then what else is close to Ohio State? I mean, not Ohio State. What close is in Ohio?
Is Youngstown? Is there one in Youngstown?
I can't even think of it right now. You don't put me on the spot. Fact
Yeah,
check it.
I want to say like I don't know if Wilberforce is a no. That's not
Mm-mm.
a. I can't remember. I know it's one up there, but
Mm-mm.
anyway. So why why TSU?
Uh, because man, my mom, like I said, my mom put me on like a college tour, like my sophomore year of college. I mean, high school, and we went to all the universities like coming down south, and we went to Morehouse and Spelman for the girls, and then we went around Bethune. We also did Bethune and then a bunch of other things, and then TSU, it was the band. Honestly, it was really the band, and like it was a presentation, and I don't even think the band was performing. I think it was like an audio of the band or something, and my ears just perked up, and I was just like, "That's what I want to do." Like I was like, "That's what I want to do. I want to come here for that." And it was funny because I met with Prof Mac, and I met with Prof at and Bethune Cookman, their band director. And it was between those two, and then it was TSU just because like the musicality, like it just grabbed my ear, and I was like, I want to do this, and that's where I came.
Man, so you mentioned that you went to a predominantly white high school, and coming to TSU, which is the HBCU,
Mm-hmm.
historically black college. I mean, I know that you're a black man,
Yeah,
but what was that that contrast between the two? Like, was it a culture shock to see this many black people at one time in one space,
dude,
or
my first year at TSU was so wild because it was like I was on. I've lived since. It's crazy because I finished my senior year of high school by myself because my mom got a job and moved. So I finished my senior year at high school by myself. So I was by myself, but then I still got checked in, by my uncle. And then it was like, all right, cool. As soon as I graduated high school, my mom was like, all right, you out. Like 2 weeks you get, and then TSU for summer school, and then band camp started. So I literally graduated high school and then was 2 weeks out of Ohio and came right to Nashville. So I came and moved in, moved into Boyd and was in Boyd for the summer, and then moved into Watson when fall semester started. And bruh, waking up at 4:30 in the morning for band camp at 5 o'clock, it was like, yo, this is real, and like that set me up for a lot of things in life now down the line. But it was like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, doing morning calisthenics, running the campus, singing, then doing outside rehearsal, marching, and then literally coming in and just literally learning everybody because TSU is again another melting pot of students from, you know, of niggas from Detroit, niggas from Memphis, niggas from Atlanta, niggas from
yeah,
Decatur, niggas from
talk about it
California, niggas
because
from, like small cities, niggas from Ohio, Cincinnati, niggas from Dayton, Akron. Like I always tell people about bands, bro. It's like we are athletes, we're incredible people, but it's like you go and take every hood nigga from Detroit, Atlanta, Decatur, fucking LA, wherever, bro, and give them an instrument, that's your HBCU marching band, bro. Because it's like we some niggas, but we incredible at what we do, bro. Like I love the band, bro, because we were in there and it was freshman year was hell because you're learning the ropes and learning how this whole huge entity that you're becoming a part of operates. So it's like now you're getting instilled into it, but then it was like representing it, and like understanding the work that you're putting in to represent not only the band but the institution, the university. Like you are a billboard for the university. You know,
So, how was that first time when you put on that aristocrat uniform,
yeah,
going out onto that field and seeing all the people and talk about nerves because that's something that doesn't get talked about as far as I haven't had anyone that was in a marching band or
yeah,
TSU marching band at that because a lot of people don't understand how big marching bands are for HBCUs. So talk about that for a spell.
man. It's really not like nerves because you've been doing it since like high school, and the crowds just get bigger. But it's really just about like that moment and just going through it. Like there's been times, bro, where we'll show up and we'll be in the stands and we'll go through it and we'll be like, dang, that was a fast halftime show. Like that was quick, but we've been doing it. And it's just like the preparation with Prof Mac and, just really sitting down and running it so many times and understanding where to go and how to do it. So when you come up to the show and everybody's yelling, screaming. You're just like, all right, cool. This song's this song's this is this. All right, we're at the concert tune. Bet. Boom, 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 boom. Now we at the dance. All right, cool. We almost here. Now we going down to the TSU. Boom. Now we just got to march off the field. Show's done. Now we back in the stands and we can chill. You know. And my favorite thing, like honestly, what I miss the most about the band, and I love it, is band rehearsals, like in the band room and then in the stands. Like being in the stands and like playing tunes, like playing songs is incredible, bro. Because like when you hear it and you hear the different sections and like the melodies and hearing people really going crazy and then percussion's just in that pocket, it's another experience playing that music out loud, dude. Like it's just fun. Like when we were in the stands playing Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay by Big Sean, like that song musically, it hits, it's large, and it's just like the tubas are right next to you. It's just a different feeling when you can like really experience playing the music out loud.
Man,
Yeah.
like that's something that um I wish I could have experienced in my college. Like maybe I don't know
Mhm.
even I don't even know what instrument I would have played, but I always felt like
You look like
maybe
a tuba
yeah,
bass
they would have
drummer.
put me on to
You look
some
like a
big
tuba
dude
bass drummer.
swinging that
Hmm.
big drum around like that,
Yeah.
give him the flight of the bumblebee and all that.
Hey, the time I was in a band, there was a weight limit to be a bass drummer.
Oh wow,
You had to be a big boy.
and that yeah,
Yeah.
they probably
But
would
to
have.
answer your question earlier, my culture shock with TSU, bro, when I first was walking around campus and learned what like checking was and was seeing niggas getting like checking, like we were calling it like get burnt up in Ohio, like, hey, I'm finna burn you, like, you know, something like that. But when I heard about what checking was, and then from checking to watching niggas paper chase and a bunch of and like out and juking, I was like, and you know, I only
Yeah,
saw juking
that's
like
the
from 3 6 Mafia
that's
videos, you
the
know, like,
Memphis
you know,
influence.
but
Yeah,
like coming in like and getting introduced to that and like all the different types of people from all different cities, and it was just like, oh snap. And like ironically, coming from Ohio and Columbus, most of my homies were from Nashville, Detroit. You know, I had a lot of niggas from there that I got cool with my freshman year. A lot of niggas from Chicago I got cool with. A lot of people from Atlanta. A lot of my homies from Atlanta in the band. A lot of homies from Memphis. You know, like shout out Whitehaven. Like a lot of homies, Orange Mountain. Like I learned a lot about Memphis from my homies in the band and like people that I hung out with. You know, I learned a lot about Atlanta. I learned a lot about, you know, Southwest DeKalb. I learned a lot about just like all the different places from all the homies that I met in school and that I'm still really good friends with today.
got you.
Yeah.
So, how did your college experience prepare you for what you do now, as far as artist management and production and all the things you do? Cause the Swiss Army knife.
It like it taught me to adapt, but it's crazy because I went to school for health science. You feel me? Like
Oh
health
wow.
science, physical therapy, and like ended up in music and art because of just genuine passion and support. And the way TSU set me up for it was literally just like network and net worth, you know, like think, work, serve, and just like understanding the people that you're with here are gonna go out and do great things, and you knew them at the point of like, hey, we're gonna be on to something, you know, and then also really just understanding like, hey, work across, you know, like work to the person next to you, and then like when they get in position, they may call you and be like, hey, I need help here, or like when you get in position, you be like, hey, I got this opportunity here, I think it'd be smooth. And for me, honestly, it just taught me to just be kind to people. You know, you never know who you're gonna meet, you never know who you're gonna run into, and it's just like it's always good just to know that you can not necessarily confide in somebody, but you can have a genuine relationship with somebody just out the gate, you know, just based off of what they do and learning about somebody, you know, knowing where they're from. Like I had a conversation the other day and a dude like met me on a set and was like, I don't know, man, I feel like there's just something there that like I may need your help in something. I don't know what it is, but I just wanted to meet you and like learn more about you and figure out like, okay, cool. You seem like again you do a lot of things. How can we make this happen organically? And I was like, bet, you know, I like being that person. I like to be able to figure out problems, not necessarily problems for people, but I just like have always been a multitasking person. You know,
Got you.
yeah,
So, have any of those relationships that you made in college helped you out in um, your life today, as far as what you do?
absolutely, absolutely, dude. All my homies that I know in college are doing incredible shit now, you know, and like people that I met that didn't go to TSU and I met outside, you know, in the city running around, like, are doing incredible things. They're like the people now that you hear so much about, you know, that are, you know, being seen and being highlighted. And I I just can't tell you enough just like how incredible it is to watch your friends succeed in their passions. Like sitting back in Boyder and Watson and people telling you, no, I want to do this, you know, like I really want to get like my homies, Naps and Wale, you feel me? Like them are my homies day one, fifth floor, Watson Hall, you know, like I drew on Wale's dorm wall, you know, like in there just drawing and doing graffiti and stuff like that. And Tim was the first person I met in orientation. Like he sat next to me and like we would talk and Tim would be like, I'm gonna be a touring drummer, you know?
Mm.
Like I like nah, bro. And we were on drumline together. And Wale was in the band with me playing sax. And he was like, bro, I'm gonna be a touring saxophone. Like I'm going to be a musician, you know, and like that was the goal. And I remember going from that to them doing Street Band Clan and playing on Second Avenue and playing in front of Sabaros and putting out mixtapes and you know, and then getting on and performing for Rashad the Poet, and then from Rashad the Poet, Adia Victoria, and these niggas went on tour and was opening for Tank and the Bangers and going around and internationally doing shows. And I was just like,
Yo,
they did it. Like,
you spoke it
you
into
feel me? Like,
existence.
they did it. You know, and then I got other homies that are like, I want to work in film before I even had anything to do with it. You know, like I had other homies that work and they working on The Shy, working on Power, working with Disney, working with, you know, huge brands. You got a bunch of people. I got a homie from Michigan, you feel me? Saginaw. You know, my homie Little Mike Curtis. I've known him since my freshman year. He a beats reporter for the Detroit Pistons now.
Mm.
You know, like that was his goal, and he's writing for the Pistons, going to every game. And I'd be like,
That's
bro, this
crazy.
is, and I like, and I'm again to the beginning of like, I'm over hyper of my friends. It's like I'm so into it. It's like, bro, I know you're going crazy because like this is what you wanted, and like you're right there, you know. And so I've always just been a person of like, okay, bet if you say you want to do it, all right, let's figure out how to do it. And like the connections that I met at TSU was everybody had big dreams and wanted to succeed in it. And it was just like, we're going for it, you know?
Now, speak about Justin Causey in 2022 and the
Yeah.
things that you have accomplished from just everything that you've. Let's do a year in review of Justin Causey and the
It's
things that
funny,
you
dude,
that
because
you.
I do this with Brown, and I do this with my artists. Like I do year in reviews with them, but I never do one for me, which is funny. But
That's why you're here on the podcast
which is
today.
crazy because I always be like, damn, people want to talk to me, and I like being in the background. But 2022, I felt like it was a quiet year. You know, like I felt like it was a pretty quiet year, pretty
And
chill year.
he being meek, y'all. He being real humble.
I mean, I felt like it was a pretty cool, quiet, just trying to make it through, you know. But I feel like nothing too crazy happened, but you know, we done a lot.
Okay, when you were supposed to, the
Yeah,
first time you were supposed to be here,
yeah.
speak about that week because something happened that week.
What was it that I had to do that week? Um, was it a show
Oh,
or
it was the
no?
Titans. The Titans.
Oh, I was like, I'm sorry, bro. I had a Titans thing I had to do. My bad, dude. Yeah. It's been a cool year, dude. Like, you know, Brown's been opening for artists. Everything that I've just been working on around with people have just been it's been elevating. It's been a wonderful year. You know, personally, for me, I guess it was getting into film and getting into production work and really starting to understand that world and get, you know, meeting with people, working with the Titans a lot more, with them musically and visually. Um, doing a lot of things with that, working with major brands like Gibson and CMT and
I don't know which camera he talking about. He just had just a regular year. I work with Gibson. I work with the Titans.
I mean, it's been
I
chill.
mean, y'all hear this? Like most people don't work with those brands, but you're here,
Yeah.
and you gotta pat yourself on the back, bro.
Hey man, I wake up and be like, yo, this is I people be telling me that all the time. They be like, bro, you be way too humble. But I'm
That's
like, for me, it's ordinary.
that's why you and Los are good friends because I had to tell him the same thing.
We had this conversation
I had
yesterday.
to tell him the same thing. Like, bro, you doing it, like dog, like
Yeah,
I know you can't see it because you in it,
yeah,
but once you take a step back and look at the things you accomplish, especially with me and him, because I've been
yeah.
knowing him for a while, and I like, bro, you're gonna do this, and this,
Mm-hmm.
but you got to do this, and this, and once he applied this, and this,
That's all it
he
ever is, dude. It's all about application, and it's all
he
about just seeing it, bro. Not like, yeah, it's been a lot. It's been a lot of growth. It's been a lot of great things have been happening. You know, like I went and got my certificate at NYU, you know, for music business, and just really trying to understand it, you know, and understand more of it. I've become a board member for the Other Nashville Society, which is an incredible organization that like focuses on other genres in country and like helping artists. And like, you know, Brown was artist in residence with them, which was really great. Helped him with exposure. He opened for artists. Roe did some incredible things. Um, is
talk about
yeah,
your roster of artists that you work with.
yeah, dude. It's just, you know, some really great artists and my homies. I've known them for years. You know, I'm brothers, and it's really just really pushing the envelope on just Nashville hip hop, but hip hop in general, and just letting them know that we're here and there's talent here, and like allowing them to tell the authentic story about where they're from and showcasing their talents. And it's just been a really, really great year for both of them. And we're going into 2023 with it, you know, just going up as well. Work with a producer, Josephine. Fiend is incredible. My man makes he just put out a little project in November with ALO. They did a small little write up in the Nashville scenes year end list. And so, like I said, it's been quiet musically for us. We just did some things. Roe did Crowd Control, and they got Best Single at the Nashville Scene Awards. And like Brown's just open. You know, he opened for Scarface. He opened for Snow the Product. He opened for Primo Rice. And then he's opening for Girl Talk today. You know, so it's just kind of been just a slow, progressive year of just building the brand.
I mean, but Face is a pretty big deal, especially in my era.
Man,
So how was it being around such a legendary artist at that time? Just just networking and being sharing that space. Can you speak about how that felt?
yeah, right, because it's so crazy because it gets very deep, which is this is where I'll tell you that it's wild for me because it's just so ordinary. But it gets deep because it's Brooklyn Bowl, and like you said earlier, we did the Nashville Sounds, you know, so that was Snow the Product. They're a week apart, but Scarface was fire because we were in there bowling early for a sound check, and he came in and he was just like Brian Brown, like his voice, and he was just like Brian Brown. He just started like flaming Brown, but did it in such a funny way. We were all cracking up, and it was just dope. And he just came in automatically off love and just like very hype vibes. His team was incredible. And like it's funny because me and him had a moment. And I was just like, you know, we family, right? And he was like, how so? And I was like, you know, my aunt and uncle, you know, like, and I called my aunt and uncle, and he was like, get the fuck out. You know, like
Yeah,
this is family right here. And he was just like, okay, bet, like this is cool. And I was like, they've always referred to Brad, you know, like
Brad.
Uncle Brad. And I was like, who the fuck is Uncle Brad? I ain't never met this nigga. Like
Brad
who
Jordan.
exactly. And then it came out that they were like, yeah, this. And I was like, you gotta be shitting me. Like, we finna open up for him. And I was just like, oh wow. But that was really great. He did an incredible show. Like it was great to, you know, witness that. Like his photographer was incredible. We took one of those, you know, like hood limelight pictures. So like we got that on the fridge at the crib. So it was just like as a prized possession right there. But it's really cool, bro. It's again, I didn't go to school for music business, you know, like I didn't go to school to be an artist manager. I just was asked by my friends, and I've been trying to figure it out for like 7 years, you know. And I just used to sit at the kitchen table and watch hella Rap Radar interviews. Shout out Elliot and them. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I want to go back a couple years to
Yeah.
the clouds.
Oh yeah.
The Air Max 95s for 2Ls on the cloud. Shout out to Leisha
Shout out
Davis.
to Leisha.
Uh, yeah, just speak on how that came about, how you came about designing a sneaker for Nike, because
It's funny
a
shit.
lot
I'm
of
wearing this
people,
hoodie today.
a lot of people,
Yeah.
really want to get into the industry and don't know how, or don't even know where to start. So
Yeah.
just give us a little bit of insight of that process.
Yeah, dude. So in 2019, I designed some Air Max 95s with Nike through a We Are Cultivator Creators program. And it was funny because it was one of those like Instagram ads, you know, like, hey, you want to design, you want to be a footwear designer? Click here. And I was like, cool. I was working at Enterprise at the time. So I went ahead and clicked the link. And it was like a summary form, just like, hey, if you ever want to design a shoe, what would it be like? And what would be the inspiration for it? And I was just sitting there and I filled it out, and the inspiration was D.O.U.G.H. Like I typed it out about the shoe and like why, and then I forgot about it, you know. And then like a couple weeks later, or like a month later, I got a DM from Nike, and they were like, hey, your shoe design is due. And I was like, what are you talking about? And they were like, yeah, you were selected for this contest. Your shoe design is due by Wednesday. It was a Monday, and I was sitting there cleaning out a car at Enterprise. So
Wow.
yeah, so I was sitting down, and they're like, here, this is the link. Go ahead and sign up. And I used to work for Nike. Like I used to work for Nike at Opry Mills after the flood. So I always wanted to be a sneaker designer. Just like I wanted to get up there. Like, you feel me? Like I used to be the kid in Nike ID in class, designing shoes and never buying them. So
that was all of us.
Exactly. So I was like, oh, bet this is that moment.
I got some of the hardest dunks ever.
You know, that I never bought, but was
Right.
like, I'll bet. So I was sitting in the rental car, and I was looking at it, and they had like 6 designs, you know, to choose from. It was, you know, Air Max 1, Air Max 95, Air Force high, extra high. Yeah. Air Force, you know, Air Force 1, the new Air Max that they were pushing at the time, like the 270 or something like that. And then another wild shoe. And I was just like, I mean, in 95, like we in the South. So I went ahead, got it, and then was back and forth with them. I designed the shoe probably in 15 minutes. You know, like I designed the shoe in 15 minutes of the upper like baby blue shade, like sky blue suede, then the white bottom for the cloud, white on white, see-through blue bubble, gray laces, gray inner, and then black insole. And it was just like, that was it. And then I sent it off to them, and they're like, no insignia can be on it, you know, unless her lawyer wants to get. And we just went back and forth, and it was like, I didn't think it was real until they sent me the sample shoe. Like I didn't think it was real. I thought it just kept being like a contest. You feel me? Like, okay, not dupe, but I thought it was like you keep getting closer to the end. You know, right. Like okay, bet. Like, okay, this design got approved. Now you got to go do this. And how would you plan it out like this? And then it was like, all right, cool. Then it was like this. And so like it kept going, and I just was like, is this real? And then when they were like, what size would you like your sample size, you know, shipped to you? And I was like, oh shit. And I got them in D.O.U.G.H size because they were for her. So I got them in her size, and they sent them, and I looked at them, and I was like, yo, this is real. Like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm actually designing a shoe with Nike. And then it got even more realer when it got to November, because they were doing a week-long drop with other creators. So it was like me and like a class of like 12 other designers, you know, and I'm cool with some of them still, and they're doing incredible shit, you know. So then they dropped it, they were like, hey, you're allowed to do your activation however you want to do it. Like you can market it, promo it however you want for that week leading up to the shoe release. Like you have all power in it, and do it however you want to, push it. This is all on you. And of course, percentage from it. But it basically was like, I told Delisha, hey, I'm doing the shoe in honor of you. I sat down with Jamie and them at Rooted and was like, I want to do the release here. You can buy the shoe, online. It's only available online. We're going to do an installation. I'm going to have laid out Nike silhouettes so people can draw and customize their own. The shoe will be here sitting on some, I went to Walmart and bought pillow stuffing and stuffed it out like it was a cloud and sat the shoes right on top of it so people can look at it. Then I did a panel with Delisha, Gotti, and Ivan, just talking about sneakers and music, and just like highlighting them and the history of it, and like highlighting Delisha, and that shit sold out in a week, like sold out in 5 days. And it was really crazy because I was like, this shit is on the page. This is right here. People buying it, like, are sending me the confirmation that they bought it. And then days later, the shoes are coming out. And I was like, yo, like, people are really getting them. And it still blows my mind now because my mom was at fucking Walmart in Charlotte because she lives out in North Carolina, right? She was in North Carolina and she was at a Walmart and she sent me a picture and she said, I just saw your shoes on the parking lot. And she said, I just saw this lady with your shoes on in the parking lot. And she took a picture and sent it to me. And I lost my mind. Wow. In 2022. And those shoes came out in 2019.
Wow.
Yeah. And you can't even, like, what's so crazy is with that specific color tone, like this, like sky blue color tone, like you can't even get that. Like they discontinued that color after that. Like you can't do it on Nike ID. Because I had friends that were like, I tried to make them and the blue's not the same, and that was a one time, like they only released for that week. And people still today ask me like, damn, how, like, they need to remake those. How can we get those clouds back,
All you gotta do is press a line, and like I'm pretty sure if it's in demand, they will do it.
Hey, but, man, I like to go harder and work with them. I just give me a dunk. Give me a dunk or a Jordan 1.
Well, then you got to do the donuts with dough dunk. Yeah, if that happens.
A crazy donut dough. Dough dunk. I really do have a thing for like sky blue. Like it's just one of my favorite, like just clouds in general are just one of my favorite things. So like the sky. So I don't know. I like playing with that bluish color.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Man, so let's speak a little bit about film production and how you got into it, just briefly. And
yeah. Bro, that the film shit is crazy because I got into film through the music. So like I got into the music through the Titan stuff, and like working with them, all incredible people. Shout out them. I'm working with them next week. But it's like I got into it because remember we used to ride bikes around the city?
Yeah.
Like we were riding bikes around the city and we did that big ass Juneteenth bike ride, and word got to one of the creative directors like, hey, there's these guys, they ride bikes around the city. Like we want to have them in a video for like the Titans. So they hit us up and we were there. We were just riding around, riding at 6th Ave and then riding downtown, and they were just getting footage. And we were just talking, hanging out with the crew and talking. And then that relationship kept growing and they kept calling us back just for like other little projects, like, hey, can you guys do this? Or like, do you know anybody? And then we got Brown in, because they wanted an artist, like they wanted a rapper for a video. So then Brown was featured in it. And so from there, I was talking with the production team and all that. And then a friend of mine was like, hey, have you ever produced before? And I was like, no, what is that? And he was like, it's basically what you do with artist management. Like you just, you're handling the logistics of things. And I was like, okay. And he was like, I think you should produce this project with me. I was like, well, what is it? He was like, it's the Titans and Rooted when they did their collaboration. And he was like, help me produce the shoot. And I was like, okay, bet, tell me what I got to do and I'll do it. So like casting the agents, casting the kids, riding the bikes, finding the locations, finding the church, getting, the extras, like handling all of that, the paperwork and getting all that done. And then he was like, hey, all right, cool. We did it in a day. And then it came out the following week. And it was like that was my first entry into like the production world as working on a set, you know, other than somebody filming me or like having somebody else get filmed. And so when I did that, then it was, have you ever PA'd before? And I was like, what is that? You know, like they literally asked me, like, have you ever done? And I was like, no. And so he asked me, have you ever PA'd before? And I was like, no. He was like, it's production assistant. He was like, do this shoot with me. And it was AT&T. And like for 3 days, I was on set with like doing an AT&T commercial, and it was just learning about, like, literally it was like smack dab in the middle, you're thrown into it about how the production world works, like entertainment production. And it was like, and what was crazy is it was like an all-in-one production. It was an ad, it was Instagram digital commercial, it was like a comedy inspired spoof, so it was like working on a comedy show, it was short filmed interview, so it was like all of these things in once that was getting shoot over 3 days. And I was like, yo. And then in the process of that, I played a music supervision role and got one of Rose's songs in the commercial, you know, while being on set and being like, yeah, I work in music too. Like, and we had a dancer and I played the song and he was like, I like this. And they were like, we like this, and got the song in the commercial, you know? And so it was like that stuff happened. And then again, your name being around it and people just referring you, that after those 2 jobs, bro, then it just started going up and people just started calling me and being like, hey, are you available for this job? Are you available for this job? Can you hold a date for this job? Can you like do this? And like I've come up on a year this month working in production. I just was at a production holiday party yesterday and it was incredible. It was lit. Brown was singing karaoke, going crazy.
Man.
But yeah, production's cool, dude. I love it because it's just like doing something, watching it from the behind and like getting built, and then watching the video come out like a month and a half later. You're like, damn, we did a lot.
Now you also have a radio show on WXNA.
Yeah.
You can speak about that a little bit before we get out of here.
Oh yeah, dude, man. So WXNA, again, shout out to them. I got blessed to be on that show because somebody was like, you should have a radio show, and I was like, okay, bet. So they taught me how to do that. Shout out Erica, my auntie right there. She was my mentor at WXNA and taught me the ropes. The Corner is a radio show on 101.5 WXNA from Mondays 5 to 7. And The Corner is basically all the feel-good music that you love mixed with just some alternative vibes and flips and edits. So it's like early 90s, 2000 hip-hop, the stuff you listen to on like, you know, Rap City, The Basement, 106 and Park, The Back of the Bus, you know, stuff you used to talk to your friends about at the lunch table or waiting for the bus to pick you up. But then there's also like soulful edits that I find on SoundCloud, like real deep cuts, some like UK grime records, a lot of rap from across the pond, some instrumentals, like real jazz heavy. I start every show with like a krungbin or like smooth jazz intro to like set the tone, and then we get into some hip hop, and like they're 30-minute segments. And then I also like got a squad block at 6 o'clock at the top of the hour where I just play all local hip hop for like 5, 6, 7 songs, and then I mix it into like UK hip hop. You know?
Got you. That sounds like a very diverse
yeah, dude.
segment that you got going
Bruh,
on.
I just DJ'd the Porter Flea last week, like my first like volunteer DJing job for WXNA. And I was playing the type of stuff and walking around Porter, and people were walking up and they were like, you're responsible for the music? Like, you're the reason why I've been dancing around here for the last hour and a half. They were just like, this is incredible. Like, a dude walked up to me, he's like, I love that Earth, Wind, and Fire like remix that you had. Like, it was incredible. And it was just these old white people that were walking by and they were like, no, this is great. Like, good music. And I was like, thank you. Like, shout out to you guys. I'm DJing the East Room tomorrow from 4 to 5. For another WXNA event. But yeah, dude, that stuff is wild. It's wild to me.
Man, before we get out of here, I have a segment on the show. It's called Half a Dozen.
Okay.
And it's like,
are these real donuts?
Bro.
All right. Because they're sitting here. I'm like, are these props?
No, it's not props, bro. And like, I can't even open the box.
You're supposed to have it pre-cut.
Must be a sign.
Yeah.
But anyway, we don't have an official sponsor for this part of the show. So I just go to local donut shops around Murfreesboro, and I don't discriminate. I've been to them all. I've been to Joe and Doe. I've been to Donut Country. I've been to Donut Palace. I've been all the way down to Evil and got shoot, I can't even remember the dude's name. It was a
Mm-hmm.
black owned donut shop down in Eagle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't discriminate, but it's called Half a Dozen, and
Okay.
it's where I just pick the top 6 of whatever category I pull out the sky, and you tell me, what your top 6 of this is.
Right.
Since you work in the music industry, you kind of follow people that do interviews and that type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I see you on Twitter,
Yeah.
So give me I say your top 6 creators, and when I say creators, I mean that could be a journalist, that could
Mm-hmm.
be a designer, or it could be anything just within that creative space.
Top 6 creators right now.
Yeah.
Damn, that's so crazy. Okay. Um, first, first and foremost, somebody I think is fire. Damn, it's so many because there's so much popping off. Is it? It doesn't have to be like any local or any small.
It can be local.
It
It
can
could
be
be,
huge. Like okay,
yeah.
all right. Top 6 creators that I think are fire with along the realm. Um, damn, all the homies, everybody. Okay.
Yeah, I'm putting pressure on you.
I know, dude, because it's like as soon as you said that, it was just like a Rolodex and everything was just rolling so mad crazy. Who's somebody that I just really love, and I'd be like, damn, they go crazy. Right now, okay. First in fashion, Luigi. Luigi is going crazy. He's got Rude, the clothing brand. His fashion show was great. His just collab with Lamborghini was dope. So that was pretty fire. Jerry Lorenzo, Zan. Zan is coming for niggas. Zanny is coming for niggas. The way she's tailoring her clothes, she's smacking. She just had a crazy blazer that I saw the other day, and I was like, "That's fire." Who else? Within fashion, Luigi, Jerry Lorenzo, Zan. Who else is cold? My little nigga Evan Terry. He's cold. He just did a collab with Adidas on some Sambas, the Pink collection. He's going stupid. And then who else in fashion? Who else is going crazy in fashion? Who's the 6th person in fashion? Damn it. Tyler. Yeah, we'll go Tyler.
Okay.
And then in music, like art. Yeah, see, I gotta go through and because it's like I can't do it all. It's too much.
You don't have a whole dozen.
You feel me? Because it's like that's the 6, but like in music though, right now, like in journalism, I'll combine those. In music and journalism, my homie Keith Nelson going
Keith
crazy.
Nelson. Shout out to Keith
Shout out
Nelson.
Keith, my boy.
He's good friends with my guy Marcel Williams out of LA.
Mm-hmm. So like Keith's going crazy, and then Jinx is going crazy. Elliot B. of course.
Goats.
Yeah. Who else is really cold? What's her name? Damn it. I'm so mad at myself. Fuck. Why am I blanking on this? Damn it. But I love her because she be going so cold. Oh, Lola Brooks. Lola Brooks. She be going hard. Tia Corinne be going hard. Shout out my homie Cash Page be going hard. Jazz. And then fuck. Damn, dude. Shout out all the homies, dude. Just shout out all the homies doing great shit. There's too many of y'all, but you know who the fuck I rock with.
Hey, he just brought a whole donut
yeah,
store.
dude, because this is like I can't narrow it down. It's too much dope shit going on. It's too much. Like it's like we're at that point in time where it's just like, yeah, we coming for that spot. Like everybody's ready to take over, and people are starting to realize, hey, there's some casualties coming,
Right.
So like there's some incredible people in this industry that are finally got their foot in the door and are like, okay, let me like take it by storm. But nah, there's some, damn it, I'm mad I can't name everybody because it's just like there's so many fucking great people doing great shit.
I want to shout out some people that we know. I want to shout out my boy Los.
Yeah.
Los Party.
Every time. Loso.
Yes,
every time.
Cashville, etc. Nashville Black Market.
You
Man,
feel me?
anybody you want to shout out? Your artists, the people that you're working with,
Bruh,
the crew.
I want to shout out first and foremost God, first and foremost my
Sir.
mama, first and foremost, you know, my uncle, my grandmother, my dad. Look out for me. I love y'all. You know, everybody that's watching over me, praying for me. But of course, brother, family, the homies. You know, I love every single one of y'all. I push y'all because I want to see y'all succeed, and I want to see us succeed, and we deserve it. And I just love being around y'all every single day. So you know who you are to me. You know what y'all mean to me. But yeah, legit, nigga, I fuck with everybody, you know, and I fuck with the people that genuinely know how much I want to see them succeed and how much I love them. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all for having me. TSU Aristocrats, we're going for the motherfucking Grammy Best Gospel Album. We coming for that. Yes, I cussed and promoted a gospel album at the same time because, hey, we coming for that. We bringing that thing home. Shout out my boy Larry J, Cider Baptist.
Trying to get that guy on the podcast.
Hey, Larry, quit playing. Come up here and talk your talk, man. We're all a bunch of humble people because we just like understand where we are now is a blessing, and it's like to keep doing that. We just want to be blessed with it. So it's like, but Larry is incredible because when he does get riled up, it's the same with me. When I do get riled up, I'll be like, we on.
Yeah.
But yeah, bro, shout out to everybody, bro. I love y'all.
Well, yes, this has been another episode of Donuts with D.O.U.G.H. Cause thank you for coming through, coming way down here. Like I said, across that county line.
Oh, it was nasty, bro. And they was out just looking, and I was like, oh man. But it's Donuts with Dough, and I'm just waiting to get a donut. I came all the way out here.
We're gonna get to the donuts.
A donut, bro.
But appreciate you coming out, man. It's been another episode of Donuts with D.O.U.G.H. You can catch us on Facebook, you can catch us on Twitter, you can catch us on IG at Donuts with D.O.U.G.H. You can look out for the STP network, Spread the Positive Network, on all those social media outlets. You can go on www.imdo.com. You can go to spreadthepositive.net and just get all this beautiful content as well.
He just gave you so much, so I hope they spell it out at the bottom.
It's in there.
Yeah,
you'll find it.
It was pleasure having me. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Cause and Effect, CAUZNEFFECT. And yeah, bro, I just be doing shit, you know.
All right. Shout out to just doing shit.
Yeah.
And we out like that.